Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Tap the bell for notifications. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Be an active participant in our live chat, you guys. We love hearing from you. All right, here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward. Chris?
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Jackie Ray. You can follow me everywhere at J-Ray the Fanatic.
Again,
Britt,
muted.
On all social media at I am Britt Johnson. Jackie, what day is it today? It's episode
Tuesday! And me and Britt are both.
I just want to say I joined in on the sunshine colors. I'm with you on the sunshine colors, though. It ain't yellow, but
living colors on today. We like,
right. In living color.
I missed the memo, you guys. Here I am in like dark purple. I didn't get the sunshine.
I know how it feels.
Sunshine memo. What?
Devin, we actually tried to come to your level because you've had the bright sunny colors on.
Yep.
Still summer colors all this time, and we've been dark, and then we tried to come to you and you put it up on us.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
Because I'm finally feeling the fall vibes. I did a pumpkin spice face mask yesterday. Yeah, I know. I'm basic and I'm not even ashamed of it. So I just decided to embrace. Needed to embrace the fall vibes. Anyway, you guys, I'm kidding. I mean, I did do a pumpkin spice face mask, but this was just what was at the top of the drawer. So
I have never done a pumpkin spice face mask. When I think pumpkin spice, I think of that new flavor at Starbucks. That's all I ever think of when I think of pumpkin spice.
I don't like that. In my defense, I didn't realize that it was a pumpkin spice face mask. I just thought it was an exfoliating one, and I put it on, and I was like, well, it feels like a whole pumpkin on my face right now. Anyway, off topic. Let's get into the news, you guys. Let's talk about Doc Rivers. So sad news, Doc Rivers and the Clippers have mutually agreed to part ways. According to Woj, he had 2 years left on his contract. Doc posted an update on his Twitter. I'm sure everyone has read it, but he let everyone know that he's no longer with the organization. He said he went in with all of these goals and he was able to accomplish some of them, but unfortunately won't have the chance to fulfill any of the other goals and aspirations that he had with the team. I think we knew there'd be changes happening with the Clippers, but a lot of people really didn't think that Doc leaving was going to be one of them. But this is his third time losing a series after being up 3-1. The Clippers might have felt some pressure to let go of Doc. A lot of fans think that the assistant coach, Ty Lue, should be the one to fill the role, but he's already interviewing with the Sixers today, though he's kind of like the second choice right now. So, Britt, I want to hear your reaction to this news first.
I was definitely surprised when I heard it. In no way did I think we were going to get rid of Doc Rivers. I don't think a 3-1 loss should do anything to a coach, especially when it's their first year with a squad like that, because let's not forget, in 2016, in the Western Conference Finals, the Thunder was up 3-1 with Billy Donovan as the head coach, and he did not lose his job. And then in the following series, the Warriors were up 3-1 and then lost, and Steve Kerr did not lose his job. So I think it's very interesting to even put the 3-1 thing on it. Like it should mean you should be fired, because historically there's been a lot of white coaches who don't get fired when they have 3-1 wins or 3-1 losses. So I thought it was interesting that people even use that as a thing. I don't know if that was the situation in this case, but I thought it was kind of crazy. I would love to see Sam Cassell. You guys know Sam Cassell's my boy. I actually texted him immediately after, and I was like, so can you become the head coach of the Clippers? I've been rooting for you to get any head coaching job, but now that ours is vacant, can you please step in? And then he just did the prayer hands to me. So I don't know what that means. That's just a variety of things. But yeah, I would love for Sam Cassell obviously to come into that position. I think it's just only fitting. I don't think Ty Lue would be the one even close to being the best bet for that head coaching job. I think it should go to Sam Cassell. Ty Lue's been there like literally a season and a half. I don't think he should get that at all. I think it should definitely go to Sam Cassell, who's been there for a minute now. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I'm sad to see Doc Rivers go. He's been our coach for a while now. And I was surprised to hear it, but because he is gone, I feel like it's only natural that Sam Cassell steps into that position.
You brought up a good point, and it's something that I thought about when I was learning about all of this news. This was like the first time that they had this whole team together. So it is kind of a sad thing to see that Doc Rivers is leaving the organization or got fired or mutually parted ways when he didn't really have a chance, I think, to show what he's capable of with the Clippers. Chris, how much do you think that 3-1, like losing the, sorry, I'm messing up this question, but how big a role do you think this 3-1 losing record is to blame? Like the third time that happened?
I don't know. I after seeing Twitter yesterday, I kind of feel like I'm in the minority here, but I thought at least he would have at least one more year. I was a little thrown back by the news. I understand the whole 3-1 thing and blah, 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 but I for sure thought at least having one more year because we're forgetting what he did with a lesser team the year before and now being brought in two superstars to play with that same squad. But I just felt like it was very, very sudden for them to make the decision to do that. So for them to, if that is the case, if it was that 3-1 loss, that is the reason that sent him over. To me, I think that's whack. Because I mean, he's probably one of the better things to happen to the Clippers, other than the damn owner being given the boot. Right, exactly. So I don't know. I just felt like at least he should have at least gone one more year. But what do I know? I don't know. I really hope that Ty Lue's not the one that gets the job. I don't think that would be much of a ad at all if they bring Ty Lue and fire Doc Rivers. That wouldn't make any sense.
And Jackie, that leads me to my question for you. Who do you think is a good replacement?
Oh, I mean, anybody but Ty Lue, to be honest with you. I just don't
Right.
see Ty Lue. I just don't see Ty Lue as a good coach, period. Maybe in time, but he just doesn't have the basketball IQ, in my opinion, to coach superstars. So I just think that would be a bad look in general. I know I would love to see Mark Jackson, but that's not gonna happen. So I don't really, have a dog in the race as far as who I want to see be the Clippers coach per se. I love Britt's pick as well. I just don't know. I knew he was going to get fired, though. I mean, I think I'm the only one that kind of saw it coming, just because
A lot of people do
have when you have the caliber of players that he had on that squad, and when you think about, I mean, it was like his first season. Yeah, his first season when he came over. And he had, Blake and all that, and then of course Donald Sterling messed all that up because they really had the momentum then. But they were knocking on the door of being champs that year. You can definitely blame that on Donald Sterling and his racist behavior. But at the same time, you took a squad that people thought was kind of good, and you came in there and made them much better. So I think that with this situation, everyone was like, "This is a dope squad." You know what I mean? You've got the sixth man of the year from last year, sixth man of the year this season. You got Kawhi. There's just no reason that you should lose to a team like the Denver. And I'm not taking anything away from the Denver Nuggets. I think that they've definitely proven themselves as a squad, but that's still not the squad that this team should have lost. So I definitely saw it coming. I had my fingers crossed. I was like Chris, and I was hoping he'd get one more year, but I definitely saw it coming. So who they pick after this, big shoes to fill, though, in my opinion, because Doc Rivers is definitely a dope coach, and I just don't know. Because what you gonna do now? You're gonna come in there and then barely make it's just. I would have given him another year because anybody who comes in now has an uphill battle.
Yeah, I think that's why
Definitely.
I think Sam Cassell just makes the most sense, just because he already knows the guys, he's already worked with the guys, he's coached, with them for like a while. So I think to bring in a new coach that knows nothing about the system, knowing that these guys are actually going to be out of a contract after next season is like huge. Like Paul George's contract is it's going to be done after next season. So this is the last time this upcoming season is going to be together. So to bring in a new coach that knows nothing about it or try to change the system would kind of be like another weird year to me. And then another thing that I wanted to bring up about Doc Rivers losing the job is I don't know, I could be crazy, but I didn't think we lost because of coaching, because after watching last year, we had very few turnovers. Actually, we for them, we had the Denver Nuggets turn over the ball like over 20 times each game. It was like crazy. We just didn't capitalize on the shots. We were just blatantly missing shots. That's the only reason why we lost, is we were missing shots. But we were getting the ball back. Our defense was great. Like everything was like lining up in the way that whatever a coach can do. But like every time we just went to the basket, we just wasn't making it. But we were getting turnovers from them, and we weren't turning over the ball ourselves. So it's just weird, because seeing the game, I never once thought like, Doc, what are you doing? Or like, that was a bad call, or that was this, that, and the third, or you have the wrong lineup in. I never once thought that during the whole entire thing. It wasn't anything to do with the coaches, and he was trying to bring the players together as much as possible. We remember George saying like Doc had me come to his room. We were talking. They had like a player right before the next game, game 7, just to like talk about everything and like, just like come together and stuff like that. So it's just so weird because nothing about the last series had anything to do with the coach team.
Right.
All right, you guys, I'm going to move on into our next news update. This is all about Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. They apparently don't get along at all. So we've seen that they've struggled to build chemistry on the court, and there have been signs that they aren't the biggest fans of one another, but apparently there's some full-blown animosity between the two of them. So in an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer, Keith Pompey discussed Ty Lue's coaching candidacy, but it was this line that stood out to me. He said, quote, Lue won NBA titles in 2000 and 2001 while playing with Hall of Famers Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, who, like Simmons and Embiid, didn't get along. So the Sixers have been committed to building the team around these two, but if they don't get along, they may not have the success that they want. Obviously, Shaq and Kobe were able to find common ground over their differences, but are Ben and Joel the same? I'm not sure. Chris, if there is really this big tension between the two of them, what do you think the biggest reason for it is?
Work ethics, probably. That's the only thing I can consider when it comes to those two guys. It might be one having a different opinion of the other one when it comes to work ethic. Almost, I don't want to compare the two, but almost like a Kobe Shaq kind of situation, because we know that, one player is off dating every damn celebrity on and off the campus and whatnot, and then the other one is, trying to be one of the better centers in the league. And, Joel has his moments too, but if there's anything to choose from, I think work ethic would be the one thing for sure, unless they just really don't like each other off the court. That could definitely be a huge possibility for sure. But to me personally, I think this is great for Philly, because now this just makes it easier to trade one of them and get more assets, because they don't like each other. Cool. Send them off. It's not like it was Shaq and Kobe again, because they actually worked together on the court. These two have not been working together on the court. So made the job easier, send one off to wherever you need to send them off, and keep it moving. So I think that's the one positive from all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. This could be the turning point that the team needs. Jackie, if these two really do have tension between them, how likely is it, do you think, that they will be able to overcome it?
See, this always bothers me when I hear people say, oh, there's tension between players. It is your entire job to get past whatever it is and move forward. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I don't know. I mean, one of them is probably going to end up asking for a trade, to be honest. Or, the management might just be like, we don't want this headache. This headache caused us to lose games. It's not worth it. We'll ship one of you off. So, and to Chris's point, yeah, Kobe and Shaq were able to, they didn't like each other, and they made it blatantly known that they didn't like each other. But when it comes time to play, all of us have had jobs where we don't like working with somebody. That's like, they've made a whole commercial about that, like hashtag emoji or whatever, hate Phil emoji, whatever that commercial is. It's hilarious. That's part of life. But when you're talking about, you're going out there trying to win championships, making your game relevant and making your squad relevant, that's not supposed to matter except the second that tip-off happens. You're supposed to figure out a way to play together and win. So I think it definitely is going to be a thing where it might not even be up to them. It might be like what Chris says. It's like, now, if you guys are just still on this we ain't going to get along thing, then we're going to ship one of you off. I would ship off Joel, but that's just me. That would be the one I would ship off.
Me too. I'm with you on that one too.
Yeah, I remember you guys saying that when we've had this conversation in the past. Britt, do you believe this report, or do you think it's possible that this was made up by the media to justify the Sixers' problems as a team?
That's a good question, Devin.
to Jackie's point, like, I don't really know and I don't care because, like she said, once you get on the court, you need to put all that behind you. We all have been in situations where we don't like people that we work with, or we have to deal with a situation that we don't like, or whatever the case, and you just got to suck it up and do it. And if you can't do it, then how much of a superstar are you really? Like, should you both really be considered all-star caliber if you guys can't put your personal feelings aside and go out there and play basketball? So that's my thoughts on it. I don't really care if it is true or not, because on the court, it really just shouldn't matter.
Yeah, it really shouldn't matter. That is a very good point. And I've always found it interesting. Of course, these athletes have big egos, but it is interesting when they are able to get onto the court as a team and still let those problems persist. It's like you got to be united over the common goal of winning. And I know that may be easier said than done for a lot of people, but it's still just whenever it's happening, it kind of shocks me a little bit. But anyway, you guys, wraps up Need to Know News. So Chris, take it away.
Yes. It's time for Post Up with your boy Chris, Quarantine Edition. And yes, we are starting off with it was good news. It was very good news that was coming out yesterday of Mark Cuban picking up Delonte West off of the streets. Now, we know from all these years, we've been seeing the videos of him, panhandling, getting in fights, being arrested, all these crazy things. And, a lot of people were worried about him and asking for someone to step in. And we've all on the panel have said that we want that to happen, but we also believe that if you don't want the help, there's only so much somebody can do. But it's looking like with the situation between Mark Cuban and Delonte West is going with it. And, Mark Cuban has been behind the scenes talking to his family, and they were able to reconnect and whatnot. But yesterday we saw a video come up of Delonte West being picked up by Mark Cuban, and it was nice to see because you see the reports, hear one thing, but then you see it on film, it makes you feel a little bit better. Like, okay, yeah, it's real. Because what's the saying? If it's not on video, then it's not real or whatever. So here's that video real quick.
Delonte West. Go Mavericks. Good job, man.
Go Mavericks. Yeah, so he picking him up, taking him. What ended up happening is he did go and take him to go, and he saw his mom, Delonte West, and now he's going to be going to rehab in Florida, which is it's a happy story, very happy for it. But I still think there is more to see what comes next because, like I said just a few minutes ago, hopefully this is something that Delonte West actually wants because. Mark Cuban, family, everybody can try and push him in that direction. If Delonte West doesn't want the help, then, we'll see what happens from there. But hopefully this is him taking, the step to accepting it and moving that direction. So I want to start with you, Britt, seeing this because it's something we've talked about for feels like years now. I mean, every time we see some video or something else pop up, we have a video about it and we've been seeing stuff about it. And now seeing the story take the turn in a good direction this time and see Mark Cuban step in. And I've also been hearing reports that Mark Cuban has actually been trying to check up on him for years to come, but he just wasn't accepting it, and now he finally is accepting his help. Just talk to me about that. Just seeing it, how you feeling about that? Is the positive note? Like, how do you feel about the whole thing?
I mean, I think it's dope. Obviously, like so many people have been like, oh, well, he was in the NBA for whatever 8 years. Why aren't people helping him, or why didn't da-da-da-da? And like, to the point, like he only played with the Mavs for one season. So it's not even like he was there for a long time for somebody to like Cuban to come in and be like, okay, I want to take the initiative to help. We know Doc Rivers has been trying to help too, but like us seeing the last video that we posted last week about Delonte West being in North Dallas and then Mark Cuban kind of trying to figure out where he was. I saw people that were posting like has anyone seen Delonte West so they know exactly where he was at this thing, trying to like really find him and stuff. So I thought I think it's dope that the NBA family has really kind of stepped up to take care of one of their own, even if they didn't have like a super deep connection or rooted situation to him. I wish other leagues would do the same thing because obviously we see so many mental health issues in the NFL as well, and we don't see the same kind of help that we're seeing in this moment. But I think it's beautiful. I really, really, really pray and hope Delonte West takes, the steps that he needs. He is a grown man, so he can technically check himself out anytime he wants to. Like he can, there's so many people that are there to help him and whatever. But I'm sure we all have had somebody in our family that's maybe gone through something or has some kind of mental health issues, or somebody that we know. And at the end of the day, you can only do so much. We've all seen the show Intervention. There's literally only so much that you can do. But hopefully this is a turning point for him. I continue to think honestly, like all the people that continue to help him, because I know there's probably been times where they've put money into him and did this, that, and the third, and he's turned around and left the next day. Some stories that we don't know about. We wouldn't have even known about this moment had somebody not posted it on social media or whatever the case is. So there's times where stuff like this has probably happened in the past where they picked him up or whatever, and he's just not decided to go with it. So hopefully he stays with this, because we all want to see him healthy and doing okay again, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And Jackie, to like Britt's last point right there, do you how do you feel? Do you think that he will actually accept the help this time? Because like I said, there have been reports and rumors that Mark Cuban has been, and other players and Doc Rivers and stuff like that have been, trying to reach out to him, and he wouldn't accept it. He wouldn't go forward with it. He would accept it and then go back to his ways. Do you think that this is going to be the time where he ultimately, because families involved and whatnot, this is the time he ultimately takes the steps to make that change?
I don't know. I tend to not predict things like that, because he's proven that. I mean, even when he was playing, when he was playing in the league, he was open with the fact that he had bipolar disorder, but he was willingly refusing medication, and that was before things got bad. So he has literally made decisions all along the way to end up in this situation. Several people have tried to help him. Several people have put good money after bad to try to help him. And so it's one of the first stories I got dragged on when I came to the Fumble, because I was like, at what point does personal responsibility kick in? And people drugged me to the high heavens, and I went right back in, was like, I'm glad you have these shovels, because I stand by what I said. At some point, so many people have tried to help him. He openly admitted that he was refusing help in the past. So what's different now? I don't know. He obviously doesn't have any problem living this homeless lifestyle that he's been living. Something would have to change in his life that would make him make a different decision this time. And I don't know. Family, I believe he has a child as well. None of that helped him change none of that was motivation for him to change his behavior before. So I don't know what would be different this time, but it definitely would have to be something different to make him change this time, because he has willingly made this decision over and over and over again. So I have no idea what the outcome will be now.
Yeah, because the only time we'll tell with something like that. But hopefully this is the one that will send him in the right direction. We'll see him come out of this one the way that we would all like to see him come out. I mean, it's just nice that he accepted the help. That's the first step. Let's see what he does with it after that. Now, this next one is about somebody who I've been a fan of, so much to the point where this season, when he was in the three-point contest on this show, I had predicted him to be the three-point contest winner to my entire Fumble live squad coming at me like, him? You think he's going to win kind of thing? But Duncan Robinson, who played for Michigan and is now going to be going to the NBA Finals and starting on the Miami Heat for the NBA Finals, there was a point where Duncan Robinson really thought that he was going to be done playing basketball. He thought that after he was done playing at Michigan that he was going to be done with basketball, and because he wasn't going to get drafted and no team was going to be interested in him. We already know that story is not the case, but while he was in school, he reached out to Mark Titus, who at the time was a writer for The Ringer. He is a professional sports writer right now, and he reached out to him for a school project to see if he can get some advice and pick his brain on how to get into the sports writing game, sports media game, because he wanted to take that next step after basketball in Michigan. And Mark Titus tweeted this out yesterday, saying, "Got this text out of the blue 3 years ago. Hopped on the phone a couple days later and talked for an hour about getting into sports media because he thought his basketball career was winding down. 3 years later, he's about to start in the NBA Finals. What a world." And yeah, so he had texted him asking for advice, want to pick his brain. Like you said, like Mark just said, they did end up talking for about an hour about the whole thing. And now this dude is about to start in the NBA Finals here tomorrow, and it's going to be a complete 180 for the story from Mark. For Duncan Robinson. I'm excited about that because he's the dude is a sharpshooter, and he's been earning his minutes and been earning his money, especially playing for one of the harder teams to play for in Miami Heat. But my favorite response to this entire thing came from Josiah Johnson. who responded saying, "Send him an invoice for the consultation. He can afford it now." Because at the time, he was just a college student about to, try to look at what he's going to do next. But now this man is in the NBA Finals playing the NBA. He got the money to pay Mark back. But yeah, so that's a crazy story, cool story. I love hearing stories like that. But yeah, we'll see that. But speaking of hilarious stories, sticking with the Miami Heat, we have the NBA Finals starting tomorrow, right? What if I told you guys that we already know who is going to win? Okay, maybe not what team is going to win, but I already know one player already right now to this day already has himself an NBA championship. Yeah, Dion Waiters, ladies and gentlemen. We may have forgot that Dion Waiters was a part of the Miami Heat at the beginning of this season when he eventually was cut because of all the madness that was going on behind the scenes for the guard. And then he was eventually picked up by the Lakers before the bubble began. So Dion Waiters, because of that, because he played the certain amount of teams that he needed to play with the Miami Heat, being a part of that squad, and then getting picked up by the Lakers, regardless of what team wins this NBA Finals, Dion Waiters is going to be walking away with an NBA championship. So Philly Cheese, whether he plays or not, because he has not been getting as many minutes in the playoffs as he was prior to the playoffs when the eight seeding games, and now he's just coasting himself to an NBA championship regardless of the outcome. I'm sure, obviously, he wants to be on the winning side of it, being on the Lakers, but regardless, the Miami Heat win the championship, he's going to send the call over to Pat Riley like, hey, so congratulations. When do I get my ring, man? I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad that I was able to help the Miami Heat get to the point that they're at today. But I think this is hilarious. I love stories like this. Anderson Varejao was an instance of this back in when he was on the Cavs and then eventually ended up on the Warriors, and he ended up getting the championship ring when the Cavs won their championship. I just think the whole thing is hilarious. I love stuff like this. I know it's like such a cop-out, but I think it's just so funny, especially being that it's Dion Waiters. I would have been just as excited if it was like J.R. Smith or something like that. But hey, congratulations, Dion. You're an NBA champ, my guy. Hey, we didn't even see the finals yet, and you already a champ. So go ahead, man. 2020 NBA champion Dion Waiters.
Participation trophy.
Really, that for real, 100%. Like even when he played, he was okay, but he really didn't do much for the Miami Heat. But hey, rules are rules, I guess. So hopefully the Lakers win and he can have it the right way. But we'll see what happens with that. But we'll see. Jalen Rose, I gotta talk about Jalen Rose, and I see you guys in the chat. You guys know I'm a fan of Jalen Rose, and there's a reason why I have a hat on today, because my hairline needs to be fixed up, and I always come back to Jalen Rose. And I hear you guys in the comments all the time, yo, CK, his hair ain't real, that thing sprayed on. Regardless if it's sprayed on or not, it looks fresh, okay? I don't care. Like, if I need to find that spray, then I will get that spray. But look at that thing looking fresh. But there's this tweet that you're seeing right now, Mood realizing it's legal to write off $70K to your hairstylist, #vote. This is a bigger tweet than what he had put on right there, because he is sneakily dissing Donald Trump. Because if you did not know, we found out a lot of Donald's tax return information, and one very, very curious part in that whole form was this man was writing off $70,000 for his haircuts. Meaning that what he got on his hair right now is planned out. It just blew my mind seeing that, and this guy, he wants this. Like that blew. Obviously, because he's had a haircut for all these years and years and years. So seeing Jalen Rose put this out there, I thought that was a pretty fun little slight. Obviously, adding the #vote for that because of the connection. But this man is purposely getting his hair to look the way it's looking.
That's terrible.
I don't know where else to go from there. I really don't know what else to add to that. I don't know. I cannot believe that, because I saw the meme, because there's been jokes going on ever since it came out. I'm like, there's no way this is real. But
so maybe someone in the family. Maybe someone in the family is a hairstylist, and so he's just like,
dear God, you mean little Timmy's?
Yeah, little Timmy again.
Little Timmy in there. Oh my God! I can't believe it.
Because if it's on purpose. Like there's no mirrors in the White House? I don't understand. What's happening?
That's what I'm saying. Nah, the person doing it like this. This is how they cutting Trump's hair like this. They're doing this. Are we good? Did I do it good today, Donnie? Like, I don't understand. I do not understand. But playing devil's advocate, though, since I have you on here, Jackie, let me get Jackie back.
Okay.
What if he, because it has been such a talking point for him for so many years, technically, what if that trash hairstyle really is a business write-off because it is a part of the Donald Trump look and is a part of what is getting joked on a lot, so might as well get paid for it. Could that be what it really is? And if it's the case, I still hate it, but playing devil's advocate here, could that be it?
Well, no, because that hairstyle should be free because it's that bad. So there should be nothing to write off. So I don't know.
You're right. Man, I don't know. But $70,000 for that. Boy. If I'm the stylist that had that information come out, I'd be like ducking, like, oh no, you weren't supposed to show that.
Right.
Everything else, don't show that part. Oh God. Anyways, yeah. But Jalen Rose, shout out to Jalen Rose on that one. I thought that was pretty funny. And I, you know, also thought was pretty funny. Paul Pierce once again trying to make a hot take that came out lukewarm, damn near tap water cold, because once again Paul Pierce is just swinging and missing with his takes. All right, so I just can't stand talking about this dude. Prior to the elimination game on Sunday for the Miami Heat, Paul Pierce came out saying that he wasn't a big fan of everyone, you know, being all excited about the Tyler Hero mania and, you know, Tyler Hero coming off saying that he's a bucket, to the point where Paul Pierce came out and said this and fighting against Tyler Hero and how he feels about himself. He said, I can't call nobody a bucket if you ain't averaging at least 20. If you average 11, I can't give you a bucket. And this is Paul Pierce talking about Tyler Hero. Now, fine, you know, statistically and realistically, yes. Okay, Tyler Hero probably wasn't averaging 11 for this, or wasn't averaging 20 for the season. But you still sound stupid when Tyler Hero was averaging 20 points in the same series that you are talking about, in a playoff series in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is more important than anything that was going on in the regular season, because now he had a big part in the reason why the team is in the NBA Finals. So Tyler Hero responded to him, as you see him there next to Bam with the Eastern Conference trophy. He said, I think I just averaged about 20 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yes, you did, Tyler. So I hope you realize that. I know you're a rookie, but I hope you realize anything that comes out of Mr. Paul Pierce's mouth, don't take it too serious, because the man don't really think before he be speaking on a microphone on national TV. Because I was seeing this, and I'm like, I understand what you're saying. I agree with the statement, but the dude you're talking about is averaging 20 right now as you're saying this. So Paul Pierce, once again, just anyways, I'll take all the Paul Pierce slander on post up for sure. And Tyler Hero, this dude, he's already won me over as a fan. And, you know, every time he got some kind of slight towards Paul Pierce, gets more points in my book. And that's a fact for that. Speaking of points in a book, I've seen this before. Now, I saw the memes. I saw this one before, but I never put the two together until OG Anunoby put this tweet out. Now, I want you guys to see this. It's pretty damn funny. But OG Anunoby was shopping or whatever when he came across this diaper brand with this little kid that looks very, very familiar. And OG Anunoby added the caption saying, why the F Trae Young got a diaper endorsement deal? And then Trae Young with a great response, laughing at himself, saying Trae Younger. And I think that is hilarious. But this dude looks like Trae Young. Ears and everything, got the little faces. I can see him, Ice Cube Trae, doing the same thing. Little man looking like this. He also kind of reminds me of, I cannot remember the kid's name, but the kid that said, he can't guard me. He can't guard me. Or that's a travel. That's not a travel. I didn't travel. You know, the little kid that we had on post up. Kind of reminded me of him, but look at little Trae Younger over there getting endorsement deals. I think this is hilarious. OG Anunoby with the spot-on comparison there. Because I saw his picture and I didn't think anything of it. But I think that is hilarious. Hilarious. Now, last but not least, I got to end off with a cute moment, a pretty funny, cute moment. Now, I'm guilty for doing something similar to this. Not quite to this extent like this dad did, but I'm guilty where, you know, I know Jackie's about to call this child abuse, but I have subjected my daughter to sit with me and watch Knicks games from time to time. So much to the point where she is very good at noticing when somebody misses a shot. Like if I shoot around with her and I miss it, she's like, "God, Daddy, you missed it," because she's very used to seeing missed shots because she watched a lot of Knicks games with her dad. So that being said, this guy went up me because his son is hours old and. He had, it looked like it was a Vikings game, and he put it against the screen to make sure that little man could have it in his brainwaves that football is the way. Look at this. And his face is dead serious to the top. I thought it was couldn't be me, because that's next level. I didn't go that far, but this dude, and his face is dead serious. Got him, and poor little man's probably sleeping, and he's got to deal with that. He's like, yo, I'm just getting used to this world, and you got me watching the Vikings. I'm just glad I wasn't
me tank, as in I'm fighting for my life tank.
That is a yeah, that is an yeah, that is an incubation tank. I mean, I don't know what it's necessarily called a fighting for my life tank, but yes, it is an incubation tank that does help with oxygen and whatnot. But Dad's same priorities are
That is
football, so
terrible.
make sure that we get out of there so we can become a football star. So yeah, he won up me for sure. But this is crazy right now. But I just saw how serious his face was showing the clip. But
And
nonetheless,
that poor can't even turn its head yet. It's like, oh, I wish
Oh,
I
right.
could turn away.
right, I don't want to watch this, Dad.
Some form of like abuse. For
Child
sure.
abuse. Right.
Somewhere, right? For sure, for sure.
With the Vikings. Aren't the Vikings 0-3 right now?
They're not doing good. That's why I couldn't tell the other team. I couldn't tell if that was like the Chiefs or the. I didn't know who that other team was. I mean, maybe he's a fan of that team, but I hope he's not a Vikings fan because that poor kid didn't deserve that. But I shouldn't
That is
talk.
so funny. But I will
Yeah.
say, he was born the day that Tupac died. So I didn't put it in his ear, but I put like the little my earpiece by his ear, and I played Tupac "Keep Your Head Up." So that was the first song he ever heard. Like,
But that's dope. No, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's very.
There was nobody on that screen that was a legend.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at Kirk Cousins, Ken Cousins on the screen. Like, no, that's not. There's no legends on the phone right there. No, your moment is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when you hit.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
Okay, nobody call CPS on me, please.
No, we're all very supportive of this. We're all very supportive.
Yeah, you're good.
Jackie, you have something coming up in What We Not Gonna Do that also has to deal with children. The Fumble Live is
I do.
all about kids lately. So tell us what
boy.
we're not gonna do.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to need you guys to put on your investigative hats for that second one because we're going to talk children and something that doesn't make sense to me. But this first one's going to be a little bit painful for me because I've gone on record several times and said that I think Tony Romo is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. You guys know I've said that. You also know I hate talking about the Cowboys, but here we are. Tony Romo, I don't think he reaped the benefits of the offensive line that Dak has, and he had to run for his life the entire time he was playing, which obviously made him injury prone. So when I woke up this morning, though, I am about the Cowboy shade, though. So I did feel a little good when I woke up and I saw that Jerry Jones says that Dak Prescott is no Tony Romo. So I was like, okay, that's an obvious thing. He's right. Of course he's not. Obviously, I thought they were talking about the last play of that Seahawks-Cowboys game when Dak Prescott threw that interception. So if you watch that play, though, Dak actually really did a good job. If we could throw that clip up there, and I hate doing this because I'm going to have to give Dak some credit that I never, ever really like doing. But or maybe we won't. But at the end of that game, so there it is. I was like, I don't know how to put it in there. So first of all, no one's open. Second of all, look, he almost gets tackled. He looks around and then just basically throws up a Hail Mary. But I have to give him credit on that one because he literally extended that play, gave Gallup a chance to get open. He didn't get open, but I have to applaud him on that one because I thought it was a good job on Dak's part on doing that. But then, Jerry Jones always does his little interviews during the week. And so the Cowboy hater in me was 100% cool with potentially Jerry Jones bashing Dak Prescott because, number one, the contract issue. Number two, this 1-2 start. Number three, Dak's only throwing 5 touchdowns in three games. So I was all for hearing Jerry Jones go in on Dak Prescott. So I was really disappointed to see that that's not actually what he said, like, at all. I just want to kind of read really quickly what he said on that. He said, these guys do that. So look, if you actually heard this live, I can understand entirely why you thought that Jerry Jones was kind of bashing Dak Prescott because it wasn't like it was the most coherent. He didn't flow with it too well. I had to actually type it out and kind of read it back to see, that's not actually what he said. He said that play that Dak made at the end of the game that got intercepted, well, the result of Dak's ability that let him get the ball off was really great and outstanding. These guys do that, have that ability a lot. They are very quick-footed, and they have the unique ability to possibly take their eyes away from the field for a minute and then immediately focus back and see. Romo had that. He can turn his back on it and turn around and hand-eye and get it done quick. These are these are the things that show up, and that's what's showing up with these guys. They are buying time with their instincts and their feet. Again, that is not at all saying that Dak Prescott is no Tony Romo. He's basically saying, guys, like later on he said something to the effect of like, he did talk about Patrick Mahomes, but he didn't compare Patrick Mahomes to Dak Prescott. He's basically saying that these quarterbacks that we have nowadays are like that. They can buy themselves some time. They can scramble. They can give their receivers time downfield to get open. And he said Dak Prescott has that too. He in no way said that Dak Prescott was no Tony Romo, which kind of made me mad because y'all have me out here defending this man. So, Britt, my question is for you. Did you actually buy this at all? Did you think that Jerry was bashing Dak? Did you hear the interview? Let me ask you that first. Did you hear the interview?
I didn't hear the entire interview, but I actually kind of agreed with what you said too. I didn't really take it as that because I was just like, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he did, because I was like, oh, well, of course, because he's going to try to play down Dak Prescott right now because they're trying to get the least amount of money possible. So I definitely thought it was like that kind of situation if it was when I just read the headline at the beginning.
So you know what happened? Title readers. Just like we talk about title readers.
It's on the link and I actually read it. That's what
there you go.
Guys.
There you go.
That's something. But if you read it or watch it, you get the whole story.
Yep. So almost. You guys almost got me, but you didn't. And I don't like being put in this position. So what we're not going to do is make me defend MAGA Jerry ever again. I don't like it. I don't want to do it at all. But let's get on to this next one, because this next one I'm definitely going to have, especially if you guys have nieces, nephews, children that you watch in your home at all, or you watch crime TV a lot like me. I need you to put on your investigative hats on this one, because this one just does not add up for me. So I'm sure you saw the headline where my favorite Hall of Famer quarterback, Joe Montana, saved his grandchild from a kidnapper, a person who broke into their home and tried to kidnap his grandchild, right? So again, you got to read. So TMZ posted the story first. I didn't want to see nothing TMZ had to say because I don't like that franchise at all. But so I went to the sheriff department, the Los Angeles Sheriff Department, and their breakdown of this story is a little bit different. They said that Joe Montana told the deputies that his grandchild was sleeping in the playpen on Saturday in their home in Malibu when an unknown woman walked into their front door, which was unlocked, walked up to the playpen and grabbed the child. He says then his wife, Jennifer, started talking to the woman, try to de-escalate the situation. The woman is identified as 39-year-old Sadaisi Dazelle. They were talking. They were having a chit-chat. It didn't go well, so the woman walked upstairs. And then that's when Jennifer grabbed the baby from the woman. They had a little tussle, grabbed the baby, and then the woman ran outside where she was later arrested by police. So I have a few questions. Number one, who just walks into your house willy-nilly and has time to walk over to anything, let alone a playpen where your grandchild is asleep? That's number one. Number two, if your intent was to go into the home and kidnap the child, why do you walk upstairs? Why don't you grab the child and run away? And then finally, the tussle between Jennifer and the woman, and all the headlines say that Joe Montana saved the grandbaby. That's not what happened. Jennifer saved the grandbaby. The woman was immediately arrested, and she has $150,000 bail. Joe Montana tweeted, "Thank you to everyone who has reached out. Scary situation, but thankful that everybody is doing well. We appreciate the respect for our privacy at this time." Chris, I'm gonna have to get you up on the screen real quick because you're the only person here that has children. So let's just play it out, right? So you got a newborn baby. The baby's in the playpen. You, for some reason, as a parent, or even if you were a grandparent, left the door unlocked. A woman casually walks in. What happens next?
The woman cat, and I caught the woman cat walking in. She gonna have to walk herself out, or she gonna be forced out. One of the two gonna happen.
Okay, but do you have a casual conversation with her while she's holding your baby? Is right.
Oh, you missed the part because she picked up my baby too. Nah, there's no casual conversation.
So she picks up the baby. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, if let's say you're the kidnapper and it is your goal to get the baby outside, do you go upstairs or do you go out the front door? You just came in.
That was just wide open. Yeah, no, obviously go. Yeah, I see you just enlightened me to a lot because I missed that. I was the Tyler Reed on this one. So I'm like, oh, okay, go for you, Joe right then. I didn't know any of that. What the heck? Yeah, I was. Yeah. I was Tyler Reed. I'll take it. But that's crazy. No, yeah, you go right out the damn door. Why are you going upstairs? What are you going to go upstairs and then jump down like some kind of superhero? Like, what are you going to do?
Give the baby a bath? What's the plan here? Right. Something is not right with this story. I don't know what happened, but if I had to guess, the Montana family know this woman.
Yes.
And I don't understand how, because otherwise you have an immediate and visceral reaction to somebody coming into your home if you don't 100%. Know them, right? There's not even enough time. So they know this woman, and I cannot wait to find out the details. But this, to me, does not add up. So what we're not going to do is pretend like I don't watch enough crime TV to buy anything that's being said from the Montana house right now. That's all I got to say about that.
I want to jump in. Jack, I want to jump in really quickly here.
I didn't hear both of you.
I just want to say I don't have a kid, obviously, but I do watch a lot of true crime. I listen to true crime podcasts. So Jackie, we have that in common. I'm obsessed. And it also has made me an extremely paranoid person. I have a nephew and he might as well be my own son because I'm just so obsessed with him. But if literally anybody walked into my house and walked upstairs where I knew he was sleeping, even if it's somebody I knew, if there was a person just entering my home, there is no way that they're even getting to the stairs, or my sister's home or whatever.
Right.
So
what were you saying?
That has to be like Joe's side chick or something. Like, no, I'm the grandma. It's just so weird. And like, who leaves their door unlocked in 2020? Yep. Like, where do they live? In Sweden? Like, what is happening here? I'm so confused.
See,
all right, so we don't buy this story. We don't buy it.
Wow.
We don't buy it. Not at all. And also, just on that same point, just to like show you guys how paranoid I am even more, but let's not forget, Britt did hit a guy with her purse that was running behind her on a jog, so she's paranoid too. We both feel the same way. But I have a security stick that I put under the doorknob on my front door, and I locked both locks so that even if somehow somebody was able to break the locks, they still couldn't get in because that stick is there. And that's because I live alone, so it makes me feel better at night.
I with mace and a taser gun next to my bed. Like,
oh, you prepared? Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I actually have.
I went to walk in the middle of the day. It was 2 p.m. I had my mace and I always just have it in my hand. I'm like, I dare somebody to come by me.
Right.
I dare them.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And that's all the security measures you guys have just to protect your person. So like Devin has a nephew. If it was your son, this doesn't. I don't know. I don't buy it. Just had to share.
Crazy.
You know when they have like those lasers in the in front of bolts and stuff? I would have lasers.
Right.
That's crazy.
So yeah, we're gonna respect your privacy, Joe Montana, but I'm gonna keep digging because I know there's something else in these stories. But that's all I got, and now it's time for Brit's takes.
Brit's takes.
All right, guys. Well, in my weekly Bible study, we have what we call prayer requests. So usually that's kind of what you see on Brit's Take is like a prayer request. It's me asking for something, whether it's to find the coaches like you do the players, whether I'm asking the NCAA to just care about their players, whatever it is, I'm usually asking for something, right? Well, in my Bible study meetings, we also have praise reports. So today on the Fumble for Brit's Take, we're going to do what we like to call a praise report. It is exactly what it says. I am going to be praising something that happened this week that was super amazing. So the NFL actually made history on Sunday during the Browns and Washington game, not because the Browns won and now have a 2-1 record to start the season, which let me tell you is amazing for them. They actually had their first two 30-plus point games in a row since 2010. So the second part is actually why I'm really praising them and praising this situation from Sunday's game. It's because two female coaches were on the sidelines, one from each team, the Browns and Washington, and also there was a female officiant that refereed the game. So if we want to throw up that picture to see this trio together. So this was actually taken before the game whenever Leo wants to throw it up. But it is a picture of the three females that were a part of the game. So obviously in the middle, we have Sarah Thomas, who we know broke the ceiling for women in the NFL when she became the first ref in 2015. And then to your guys' right, I guess it would be, we have Callie, who is currently the Browns chief of staff. Back in 2017, she is when she kind of made her NFL debut when she was a scouting intern. And then in 2018, she made a big splash as well because she became the first woman hired as a full-time NCAA D1 coach. And then obviously now she is with the Browns. And then on your left side, or whatever it is, I don't know your guys' direction compared to mine, but on the other side, we have the first Black female coach, and she has been doing amazing. It's Jennifer King. She is in her first full year as a coaching intern with Washington. And Ron Rivera, who is the head coach for the Washington football team, actually tweeted this out prior to the game. And he said, "As I am doing my final pre-game prep, a sense of pride has come to me. I can't help but think of the historic significance of today. Very happy for all the women involved in our NFL game and very proud of Jennifer King, #GameChanger. So when I saw this moment, I thought it was just like absolutely amazing. I wanted to give a shout out to all these ladies who have, in some way or another been the first to do something. Callie being the first for the NCAA, Jennifer being the first Black female coach, and then obviously Sarah being the first female to ref an NFL game. They've all done so many amazing things and been a first at something. This was really a historic moment to see all of them kind of come together in this moment and be on either side of the sideline and then on the field as well. I looked at this moment and then I looked back to my niece who actually just turned 10 last month, Cadence Jordan. I call her Jordan by her middle name, but she has actually played flag football for years and years. Her little team is called the Steelers. I don't like the name of the team, but that's another story. But her little team is called the Steelers. She's played flag football, and she is a killer. Like, I don't understand how this girl is just a beast. She is so strong. She is so fast. She'd be one of the few girls out there with all the boys. And she loves all sports. She plays basketball. She plays football. She plays baseball. Her baseball team is called the Dodgers. Shout out to that. But yeah, she's been playing all these sports forever. She also loves cheer. So that's my special place in my heart with her is cheerleading, because obviously you guys know I've cheered for like 15, 16 years. And then I also coached cheer for a bunch of years as well. But to see that moment and then to look at her kind of like made this whole thing come full circle to me, because like obviously I would love her to continue with cheer and gymnastics, but obviously my sister wants her to do soccer and stuff because my sister loves soccer. But to see that moment and look at her and be like, oh my gosh, you can do anything you want to do. If you want to grow up and coach in the NFL or ref in the NFL or NCAA, or, if you want to be a cheerleader, if you want to be a soccer player, whatever it is, like sky is the limit for her. And it is a beautiful moment that she is, 10. She didn't grow up in a world where like, I never saw any female like on a sideline or whatever when I was younger. And so I never even, not that I wanted to play football, but I loved football. And I always was like, okay, yeah, I'll be a reporter or something. But like, it never even crossed my mind that was something that a female could do, is be a coach or be a ref in an NFL game. So for her and all the other little girls that get to see this moment and be like, oh yeah, that is for sure something I can do. And that is like amazing to have that opportunity. And thank you to all of these three women, because I know they've had to go through the works and had to, and still probably do till this moment, continue to go through so many things about, I dated a guy that played baseball for a bunch of years, and he was kind of a misogynist, and he would literally say that women, he would never, because there are in the MLB now, there's a couple females that coach or whatever as well. And to me, baseball, it's even an easier transition because you have baseball and softball, which I think are pretty similar, except for how you throw the pitch and how big the ball is. But as far as your technique and catching a ball or in batting or whatever, it's pretty much the same. So I thought that was, to me, an easy transition, just like basketball is. Like, oh, we should see more females in basketball and in baseball because they were able to play similar sports or the same sport when they were younger. And he literally is like, oh, I would never listen to a woman coach ever, And I feel like there's still a lot of people out there and they still have to deal with that kind of stuff. So thank you, ladies, for, going through all you go through to give people like little girls like my niece the opportunity to just have an option to do that. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. And I appreciate that moment. I thought it was amazing. So I just wanted to do a praise report and shout out these three ladies for, all they've done for the sport and for women in general. And I am so excited to see what other women kind of come into the business and moving forward. We know the NFL just kind of opened up their application stuff to putting minorities, including women, in positions of power as far as front office stuff as well, to be presidents of teams and this, that, and the third, not just like, oh, I'm an owner's daughter or I own the team because my family did kind of situation, but put them in GM positions and things like that. Obviously, we just saw our first Black president for the Washington football team. So I'm excited to the moment we see these women come in and kind of take over a little bit, because we all know this. The facts show it. It states it. You can do research and find out women actually are considered better leaders than men. Sorry, fellas. But I think it's just a natural thing. I think women would do great in that position. And I'm excited to see it moving forward, just because women will now have opportunities to do stuff like that. So thank you to all you three ladies. I don't really have any questions, but if anyone wanted to comment, we still have a couple minutes left before the show's over.
Since we do have a minute here, we got a couple I always say donations, but tips from Mr. Giorgio, aka my man. These usernames are funny. And then there was another one. And then there was Blue Diamond Gem. Both of them gave us some tips today, so that was very nice. Thank you guys very much. If anybody did have anything to say, we got another one from Mr. Giorgio. So yeah, thank you so much for that. I don't know if I'm seeing any comments come in, so I will start wrapping up the show right now, but if you see one that you want to shout out, go ahead and call it out. But you guys, you know what to do. I just hit the straw in my cup. Sorry about that. You know what to do. Subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, wash your hands. There's
a comment.
What do you want to read? Go ahead.
Titanic video.
They're coming. They're coming for you, Devin.
The Titanic video is coming,
girl.
We didn't even look. I didn't prompt it. It's just in the chat. Oh, look, Titanic. They just keep coming. They just keep coming. I don't know. You guys do it then.
Wow, would you look at the time? I gotta go. So I'll see you guys all later.
Left. That's great.
He's like, what? Titanic video.
I regret everything.